core strength, mobility. If you have weights, they are optional. My name is Dara. Join me. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications for live class. I host live class every week. I'm a physical therapist, a strength coach, a yogi, endurance athlete as well. So if any of those sound good to you, join me. I'm going to guide us through 30 minutes. We're going to start off in standing. We're going to do a little bit of a yoga warm-up, nothing too crazy, and then we're going to take it down onto the mat for core strength. Advanced core, I will show options. Weights are optional. Let's start off in standing, though. So we're going to go through a nice little yoga vinyasa, quick warm-up, just using our yoga. It's just a nice little way to warm up our bodies, right? And then we're going to take it down onto the mat. I'll give you some cues, advanced moves, but I'll show options. So join me. Come to the back of your mat. Let's start off with a nice warm up, get our bodies moving. I love this yoga just as a way to kind of get some nice mobility, movement through the spine, through the hips, release any tension, get us ready for this series of core strength exercises. Last breath here. Exhale, forward fold, bring the arms all the way down, let it out, knees are soft, just shaking it out, just noticing where you have any tension. I'm starting off slowly, and then we're gonna speed up as we go through this sequence 2 more times. Hang out here 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, halfway lift, flat back, straighten out the knees, get a nice stretch, back of the legs, hold it here for 1 breath. And then bring your hands down, step back into plank, nice mellow flow here, nothing crazy. Hold it 1 breath. Exhale, knees down, slowly lower, chaturanga. Uncurl your toes. Push yourself up into a little baby back bend. Little baby back bend. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. Hold it here for 1 breath. And then exhale back down. Uncurl your toes. Push yourself back. Downward facing dog. Push away from the mat. Spread those fingers wide. Drive your hips up high to the sky. Pedal your feet out. Give your calf and ankles a nice little stretch. Nice mobility work here for the ankles. Back of the legs. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Let's go through the sequence. Again, walk your hands back to your feet. Round 2. Rolling up slowly, head coming up last. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, arms down, speeding it up just a little bit. Hang out here, knees are soft. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. This is your hip hinge. Hold it here, 1 breath, brace, abs on. Hands come down, step back into plank. We do have more planks in our warm-up. Hold it here, 1 breath. Exhale, lower chaturanga however you need to. Uncurl your toes. Push yourself up into a little bit of spine extension. This should feel good on the spine. We spend so much of our lives flexed over, hunched forward. Enjoy this moment. Get some extension. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back. Open up your chest. Enjoy this spine extension. Roll back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Last time through is coming up. And then we're on to the next part. We do have a little bit more of a plank to finish up our warm-up. Nothing crazy though. Again, listen to your body. I am a PT first, so modify based on what is right for your body. Rolling up slowly. Last time, guys. Reach to the sky. Last vinyasa. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten out those knees. Hands come down, plank. Getting ready to move on. We do have some more planks just to finish out this warm-up. Exhale, lower with control. Strong shoulders. Up dog or cobra. Again, a little bit of engagement with the abs here. Protect that lower back, but enjoy this extension. Back down. Push yourself back. Downward facing dog. Let's just hang out in our downward dog. Let's lengthen this pose for a second. So just hang out here. And I want you to bring your arms a little bit further in front. So widen your down dog because we're going to rock forward into plank. And when we come into plank, I want everything to be stacked, right? I don't want you to be way far in front. So stack. If you need to double up your mat so it's more comfortable on the wrists, go for it. Or if this just isn't great on your wrist, just modify. Take a break. You can always go into child's pose. So let's stay here. Downward dog. 1 more breath. Just getting this nice calf stretch, a little bit of the ankles, hold it here. And then I want you to rock forward into plank. Again, we're stacked, we're not in front. Just like this. Exhale it back, downward dog. Go back and forth just a few times, just to warm up the shoulders, warming up the hips, finishing out our warm-up. Exhale it back. If you can turn this into a reach with that hand to that opposite shin, go for it. So adding a little bit of obliques to reach across, if you can. Taking breaks whenever you need to. Exhale it back. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Get some nice twisting rotation. Move through that spine. Engage those obliques. Grab to that shin. We've got a few more. Last few here. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. All right, bring your knees down. Let's finish off our warm-up. We're gonna add weights to our core series today. Always optional, but if you've got some weights, grab them. And then we're just gonna finish our warm-up with just a nice little easy cat-cow pose. I love my cat-cows. Almost everybody can do them. They feel good. Nice little spine opener here. I want you to focus on some rib cage mobility. So use your breath with your cat-cow. Couple of tips on the cat-cow. I really want you to think about articulating through your entire spine. So really see, are there any sticky spots in your spine, things where you're not like quite moving as much as you could? Lumbar spine, lower back, head, tailbone. Really get everything to move. Really arch. And then it coming down and extend. I want you to now think about the breath work. So if we get that rib cage going with us, inhale. Expand the rib cage, exhale, breathe out. Your rib cage also needs to move, and your rib cage is attached to that mid-back, right? So that tight, sticky rib cage, that can also limit your mobility, right? So free everything up. Use the breath, exhale. Inhale. Last few here, and then we're going to take it into that core series. We've got the main workout. Let's do 2 more cat-cows, just like this. And release. Getting that mobility, getting things to move, open up first, and then we add in that strength. All right, perfect. All right, so if you've got weights, grab them. Not needed, but always suggested optional. We've got some challenging obliques. And we've got some lower abdominal work. Weights, again, always optional. If you have them, great. If not, that's okay. I will guide you. Again, advanced, modify as needed. I'm gonna sit up for my first move, my Russian twist. If you've got the weights, it's a 10-pounder. So I'm gonna focus on that back position first. Again, we wanna focus on this nice upright position. Abs are braced. I'm not here, I'm here. Back is engaged, legs elevated. If you don't have weights and you wanna do these to add some challenge, go for it. If you've got the weights, I usually pick one or the other personally. So when I'm doing these myself, I'm either gonna go heavier with the weights or I'm gonna focus more on the balance. That's just how I like to do it, just so I'm really focused and attentive. What is your intent, right? So I always want people to understand, whether they're clients working with me or you're taking my class or whoever, what is your why? Why am I working and where am I working? So this is obliques, right? Really working across the body to get some strength. And again, if I'm gonna use the weights, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to add weights, build some strength. If I'm really hovering the legs, I'm working on a little bit of balance, and that's okay to do both, right? But sometimes it just gets a little muddled. So for me, I pick one or the other. I'm picking weights today. And again, I wanna be not compromising my form. So that's another thing I see with a lot of clients is they're jumping to level 5, but then the form isn't really there, and they really should be sticking to level 1, because if your form is not there with these, you're probably not targeting the muscle appropriately, and or you're risking things like your lower back getting sore, right? So stay focused. There's no need to jump ahead. Just get the most out of wherever you're at, right? We're all different. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. So let's finish up these oblique working Russian twist, really focus on that rotation, right? The other thing I see is people kind of here, you're not gonna get that full oblique reach across those obliques, go across that whole midsection, really rotate. So we've got 3 rounds of 3 moves. This is our first move. We're almost done with our first one. Let's do 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. Next move, weights again optional. This is advanced. So we've got deep lower abdominal work. I'm going to give you the option of arms overhead like this as you flutter the legs up and down, or no weights. If you're like, Dara, this is challenging enough, you decide. So what I want you to think about with these flutters, up and down with the legs, that lower back needs to stay pressed down. In other words, as I get lower, I do not want this space here opening up. That's really hard as you go lower, right? So if you're not sure you're able to keep your back down with this one, A, don't go as low, right? That's gonna make it easier. B, lift your head up. That will help you to get a little bit of this engagement. And also C, sometimes when you hold this weight, it gives you a little bit more feedback. So those are my 3 tips. But again, I don't want someone doing level 5, meaning they're going all the way down, and then their back is arching, because that's wrong. So for some people, I might say, hey, maybe just go to here, right? Up to you. So we got the flutters. We're gonna finish out this series with some glute bridges. So again, if you've got your weights, you can add them. If not, that's okay. If you've got mini bands, you could also add them in. So let's do our lower abdominal. Work here. Few more. Again, keeping that lower back pressed down. Let's do 3 more. Kick, 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 kick. Fast little kicks. 2 more. 1 more. Feet down. Relax. If you've got the weights and you want them on your hips for bridges, great. If not, that's okay. I want you to emphasize pushing through the heels, glute bridge. This is a glute-focused bridge, so I want you to squeeze your glutes with each lift. We're going to change this a little bit in our next few rounds. But for now, let's keep it simple. Nice glute activation, glutes, hamstrings a little bit. Brace, I'm still bracing with my abs as I come up, come all the way up. But really the emphasis here, glutes, right? So we have obliques, we have some deep lower abdominals working, as well as our lower back for those flutter kicks. And then here we have more of the glutes, hamstrings, and a little bit of our core. And a little bit of the lower back too. You really want to have the emphasis for these to be glutes, right? So if all you're feeling is your lower back, really try to shift that attention, either squeezing the glutes more as you lift, changing the foot position can also help, right? And then also thinking about making this a hinge. So I'm not rolling up, I'm extending up through the hips. So it's just one move, boom, right? Just like that. So we've got 3 rounds. So this is our 3 series. Every class has the same formula, different moves every week. 4, 3, burn that booty off. 2 more. 1 more, should be feeling it in the glutes. Come up into seated Russian twist, back at it again. Find that position first, sitting up nice and tall, locked in. And then from there, I'm gonna add whatever I'm gonna add. Round 2, back at it. Sitting up, again, nice and tall. I'm not here, I'm here. Add that nice rotation. Really focusing on, and again, you can go heavier, right? I just have this 10-pounder here. Totally great to go heavier if you've got it, right? Add some weights, add some difficulty to your core work. When people are just doing the same thing over and over and over again, guess what? Your body adapts. It even adapts to 100 push-ups every day, right? 100 planks every day, whatever. Your body will adapt. So change it up, add some weights, add some variety, hit some different parts. Again, obliques, deeper abdominals, lower abdominals, back, glutes. That's all core, right? It's not just your abs in the front. Let's just do these. Got our second round. We'll get those flutters in next. Again, stabilizing my lower back. My lower back is gonna stay pressed down for this next move the whole entire time. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Again, locked in. Lower back pressed down. Arms up if you've got the weights. Optional. If you don't, head up will help you. Kick those legs down and up. I am bracing. I want you to think about that rib cage pressing down. In other words, I'm not flaring out my rib cage. So remember, we talked about the rib cage initially. With our breath, with our cat-cow, same thing. That diaphragm, which is attached to your rib cage, is also a part of your core. Locked in. Core, lock it in. Lower back is pressed down. Kick the legs down and up. We're going to do our bridges next. We're going to change our glute bridge for this series. You can still use the weights if you want. We've got a little spicier version of our bridge next. Let's do 4 more just like this. Down and up. 3 more. Down and up. 2 more. Last one. Fast little kicks. Here, you're gonna come up into your glute bridge, stay up in your glute bridge, and then you're just gonna add these marching hips. Now, if you don't really need the weights for this marching bridge, right? And if you really are finding it hard to keep the hips level, that's the goal for this marching bridge, is my core a little bit more activated here. Hips need to stay really nice and level. In other words, I'm not bouncing side to side. And then hips need to stay high. Keep them elevated. So one of the things that people kind of lack with this marching bridge is they start spacing out and then the hips get lower and lower. And they're just not paying attention, right? Gravity's pulling you down. Keep the hips elevated up so you can have the hands here just as a guide or reminder. Keep those hips up. Let's do a few more here. Just like this, and then we got our last round. We're speeding through this. We still have a little bit more to go, but that's about it for this series. 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. Sitting up. Let's do our last round of our Russian twist. Sitting up nice and tall. Finding that position. Abs engaged. My back is engaged. I've got my twist. Last round. Nice rotation. I'm really going through that whole movement. I'm really trying to target those obliques as I go side to side. Let's finish out this series. This is our last round. Strong, good form, intentional. What are we working on? Just like we started with. Keep it going here. Almost done, you guys. Making it through. Quick little series. Let's do 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. On your back, flutter, kicks, brace with your abs. Locked in. Here again, weights are optional. Head is up, kick, 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 kick. Up and down and up and down. Again, head doesn't need to be up, but I like to have my head up for a decent amount of these because it just locks everything in. Helps you stay focused and keep that core really engaged in that right position. Really, that bracing just helps you push that rib cage down. Keep the lower back pressed down, right? Those are our main goals. Kick, 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 kick. Last few here. Almost done. Almost done. Let's do 2 more. All the way up. 1 more time. And we've got our last little bridge. We're gonna change the feet together, knees out, froggy bridge, slightly different emphasis. So just changing it up a little bit, still hitting the glutes. Knees are out now, so slightly different. You might feel that a little bit more in that outer part of that glute. Again, lots of options with our glute bridges. The primary emphasis here is glutes. You can also use the mini bands as well, or no weights. You're still gonna get some nice strength from this move. This is still body weight, right? This is not a bad move if you don't really have weights. I do like bridges, right? You're still gonna get a decent amount of work, right? So your bridge, your plank, your push-up, your squat. So there's some good movements that if you don't have a gym, or if you don't have weights, you can still get some decent work out of those moves, right? So let's finish up here. We're gonna do a nice finisher, challenging hollow body hold as our finisher. Then we're gonna stretch, be done. That's it for class for today. So we've got one more little move, sneaking it in, and then we're gonna stretch. Let's finish our glute bridges here. Finish it out, squeeze, lift, lift, squeeze that booty. 4 more. Lift it up, 3 more. Lift it up, 2 more. Last one. Drop the weights at your sides. We're gonna finish with a 30-second hollow body hold. I will guide you. You decide again how low you wanna go. The lower you go, the harder it is. 30 seconds. Let's start that off in 3, in 2, brace here, lift, hold it, finish strong. Last move, make it count. Tuck the chin in, press that lower back down, 30 seconds, make it solid, 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 solid. Keep going. Almost there. 10 seconds. In 3, in 2, and relax. Shake it out, reach to opposite ends of the room. Let's stretch. Any stretches that you have that feel good for your body, now is your chance. I am just your guide, just giving you some ideas. Hug the knees into the chest. Again, rock the knees side to side, giving that lower back a nice little massage. This class is for you. I always tell people, modify as needed. Rock the knees side to side. And then let that left leg extend long, shake it out. Hug that right knee in, roll the ankles and the toes around. Some nice mobility in the feet, the ankles. Keep those healthy, happy feet. Roll that hip around. Again, nice movement. Supple hips. And then bring that knee across your body. Nice little stretch, glutes, hips. If you're rolling off the mat, even more, getting into that lower back. Whatever feels right for you. Open that right arm out. Nice stretch here, getting some nice rotation. Again, the spine needs to move. We want some flexion, some extension, rotation. We want these joints to be supple, and we want our muscles to be strong, right? We need both, right? And slow down the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Head goes wherever it feels comfortable. Come back to center, figure 4 stretch when you're ready. Just holding it here, nice little hip opener. If you want more, reaching through for thread the needle. Again, just finding some moves that feel nice to your body. Modify as needed. Roll the shoulders, release any tension. Let the head go side to side. Almost done. We'll finish with that other side. And then that is it for today. Unwrap that right leg when you're ready. Shake that right leg out. Again, roll the ankles and the toes around again. Little movement here. healthy, happy feet. Get them moving. Roll that hip around. Everyone's got a tighter side. I just like to tell my patients that. So just lean into that. You feel like, oh, your left hip is tighter, my back is tighter on this side. All that means is maybe spend a little bit more time on that side, right? That's it. We all have asymmetries. That is normal. Everybody has asymmetries, right? We are humans. We are not perfect. Bring this knee across your body. Find that position on you. So you may want that knee a little bit lower or higher. Again, this is where you want to feel it. You have a different body than me, so maybe putting that knee in a different position is going to feel better for you. That's okay. Opening that left arm out. Got to find what works for you. Again, a lot of these classes kind of generalized, and everyone's got different things going on. So just don't be afraid to kind of modify things for you. That's okay, right? Opening up that chest, that rib cage, that whole left side. Breathing, inhale through the nose. Exhale it out through the mouth. Slowly. Almost done with class. Join me every week. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications for live class. I do host live class every week. Similar format, different moves. You can always check out my other core classes or my core workouts, these shorter playlists, just short little core strength sessions, 10 minutes. Reach through for thread the needle if you want. Maybe roll the shoulders. Maybe shake the head. Almost done. We've got one more move and that's it for today. That is it. Take one more nice long inhale through the nose. Filling it up, fill up that belly, and then exhale it all out. Slowly. Unwrap that left leg, windshield wiper the knees, side to side, rock yourself onto your side, and then prop yourself up into seated. Let's finish with our last seated stretch. That is it after this. Sitting however you want. Focus on that nice tall spine that we started off class with, right? Tall spine posture. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale it out one more time, and then that is it for today. Inhale, reach. Exhale it out. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you got something good out of class. I will see you next time. Subscribe to the channel. Join me every week for live class. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you later. See you guys later.